the birthday boy, a little late, a little belated birthday boy, Spoonie.
Thank you, thank you.
Spoonie. What is going on, brother? How are we living?
Oh, everything's good. Listen, NFL draft is already near. It's already near. Oh, the fun begins. Can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, we're zeroing in, right? We're a little over 2 weeks away. It's about to go down. What's going on, everybody? Go and get them likes up on YouTube. Go and get them shares out. Get some people in here. I got Jay Tuck will be along here shortly in a few minutes. Obviously, Mike Fisher broke some news today. What's going on, my guy Brian? You already know what it is. Beer Gang's in the building. My guy Mo with the happy birthday to Spoon. What's going on, Mo? Of course. Yeah, man. Little news, old fishy fish dropped out there on Twitter and, talking about KJ Wright just not going to go down, man. What's going on, Alan? Good to see you in here again, brother, as always. Like I said, give it a share. J-Tech will be through here in a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about KJ Wright and the Cowboys, obviously, through the Fish report now getting coming through saying that the Cowboys are going to elect not to sign KJ Wright. What does that mean for the Cowboys here in the near future as far as free agency and what the depth chart's going to look like? And what is that good as, mean? We kind of thought they're going to draft the guy linebacker anyways. Well, do the Cowboys need to maybe double dip at linebacker now, right? Definitely changes the mantra and what's going on and how we're going to move around and look at these things. I know it, Brian. I know it. What's happening? What's going on, Bernard? Thank you for tuning in, brother. Mr. Cancer said, sorry. Basically didn't notify me of that, Spoonie. Happy birthday. Again, happy belated birthday to our guy, Spoonie.
Thank you.
Oh, and of course, this is on the back burner here. Mo's bringing it up. Vote no for number 9 for Jalen. Man, let me tell you what, guys. And before we get to this KJ thing, as we're waiting for our guys to get here, and I tweeted this out earlier, man. If you follow me on Twitter, it's your_guy_Nix NIX. And man, I tell you, Cowboys Nation's bored today. Well, I was just kind of going through and seeing these different things, and you got Gallup up here talking about, hey, what's up, Dak with the 4, right? You got CeeDee Lamb posting this too on Instagram. Jalen wanting the 9 back, and Cowboys Nation's kind of losing their mind about the 9, and it's like, hey, man, you can dig in my annals, pull all the receipts. Everyone will see that I'm a huge Romo guy. If Jalen wants to rock the 9, then so be it, man. It is what it is for me. So, man, if he wants to rock that 9, man, let Jalen rock the 9, man. It's all good. I mean, it's not like that. As much as I love Romo, he's under the Ring of Honor, right? To be clear. Obviously, we can talk about the differences of how good he was and what the teams were around him and different things. I mean, that's a different conversation for a different day. But I mean, if you put 54 on him, I mean, that's the Manster. You're right. They want him to be, when I say Manster, I'm talking about the one and only, the great Randy White. I don't understand. I don't understand why, it should be a big fuss that Jalen Smith can't have the number 9. I mean, come on. He looks pretty good at number 9 back there in Notre Dame, right? Maybe you end up with a joke. You got a 9 and a 6 in linebacker. I don't know. I'm just talking outside. But yeah, man. What are y'all thoughts on that, man? On the 9, I think Cowboys Nation's just bored, lack of news, lack of whatever. But then we got some KJ Wright stuff we're going to get into. What do you think, Spoon? Are you worried about the 9 or anything? Yeah.
You know what? As long as I've been a Cowboy fan, I just always wonder about the numbers. Like, traditionally, they always like number 88. 88 is always passed down from the last 88.
Let me grab this real quick. Well, Patrick, they have a rule out that they're going to vote on. I'm not sure. I think it's this week. That's going to allow you to be able to basically wear any number, any position. So it'll be more traditionally of how the college game is. If you want to rock a number 2 at defensive line, so be it. So that's what's going on right now. That's why you're seeing a lot of these players come out talking about their old college numbers and being able to wear them, because that is a vote that's coming up. I think it was either Kansas City or the Eagles. I can't remember which team that proposed this. But that's what's going on, Patrick, is that they're going to allow – they vote on it. If they get the vote, then they can change their number. But go ahead there, Sloan.
Yeah, but basically, like I said before, as long as I've been a Cowboy fan, I just always cared about the numbers being traditionally given. Like 54 given to Jalen Smith. He's giving a very good number from a very good player back in the days, number 88. Those are traditional numbers. Number 94, that's been given out. Charles Haley, DeMarcus Ware, Randy Gregory. Jerry Jones always gave those special numbers out to rookie players who, he likes. I've never, as far as if they change the number, if they let the players have single numbers, whatever, that's cool. To me, it's not a big deal. If Jalen Smith wants to rock number 9, hey, let him rock number 9. I mean, it is what it is. It's not saying that Jalen Smith is a better player than Tony Romo or whatever. This is what a lot of Cowboy fans are on Twitter, all over social media, talking about. It don't mean anything. At the end of the day, listen, it's a number. It's a number. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Look, Deion Sanders always wore number 21. But at practice, he always wore number 2, his college number. I mean,
yeah. I mean, for me, my thing, and again, some of us I tweeted about is like, look, I like the numbers the way they are in the NFL. I'll be the old foggy. Get up my rocking chair, and all you young whippersnappers, I'll be that guy because I like that for the college game, and it gives a difference to the college game from the pro game.
Right.
And I like the numbering that they're able to do in college and have fun with it. Then you come to the NFL, it's hey, here's where you're at, and here's where you go. If the NFL wants to take anything from the college game, how about the pass interference ruling? No matter what it is, it's a 15-yard penalty. Like maybe you should look at those things together to garner from the college game to institute to the NFL. But you know what, man? If it's more fun for the players, so be it. In a couple of years from now, people won't look at it two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's whatever for me. I like the traditional way, but man, it's about the players that wants them to have fun and bring some more excitement and sell some more jerseys. It is what it is. A couple of people in the comment section already said it. The only number I'm worried about is 6. That's it. I'm worried about 6. And 6 means that 6 Lombardi here in Dallas is what I'm most worried about us getting to, no matter what they're wearing. But yeah, man, the Jalen Romo 9 thing, man, let my guy Jalen wear the 9, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe it makes it feel better. He's like, man, I feel like I'm back in Notre Dame, making that 2018, huh? Let me show you what time it is, right? Let's get to. Let me get some of these comments real quick, man. Who does Romo play for? The players, Gary, right here with who does Romo play for? The players can wear 88 and number. The guys who won Super Bowls, the Hall of Fame, the Romo number is far more special, right? Absolutely. Rush Hunter, yeah, it is exactly number 6, man. That's what we're worried about here. No ifs, ands. It's a number care about, get a like, right? Yeah, I mean, come on, man. There's hollow numbers. Like we won't see an 8. I don't think we'll see a 12. I don't think we'll see a 22. They had the lineage of the 94, the lineage of the 88. I don't know if we'll see an 82 anytime soon either from Witten. But I mean, again. If they're going to go with the college rules, man, then you can't be mad about it. Let those guys get their numbers and move on. That's kind of where I'm at. But back to why we're here. As I said, leading off the top of the show, Mike Fisher came out and basically co-signing that the Cowboys have decided to move on, right? Have decided to move on, and they're not going to be pursuing I guess Shittuck's not going to be able to show up. But anyways, are not going to be pursuing Mr. KJ Wright. And the verbiage is the Cowboys do not at this time agree with the fit or with the dream. Okay, I'm just a little flesh there. And according to sources have informed Wright's representation that they will not be pursuing him at this time. Now, the fit and dream part, that's just some colorful words from the writer, Fish. So to me, I think this, in my opinion, I think this breaks down to there were some arguments about a multi-year deal versus a one-year deal. I think there were some discrepancies as far as money goes. And, it's kind of led us back to where we are now. I would like to, for me, I wonder how much Dan Quinn was pounding the table, and is that going to make him feel some type of way leading into this? But I mean, Smoothie, your thoughts here? As I said, they don't fit with verbatim from the article from Fish. The Cowboys do not at this time agree with the fit or with the dream, and have informed Wright's representation that they will not be pursuing him at this time.
I mean, listen, I really thought that Stephen Jones changed this a little bit. And I really thought this was a gimme. But all it tells, basically the always been the question is, if you sign KJ Wright, how basically what we do with the other linebackers, and I'm talking about Jalen Smith and LVE. It basically tells me that Stephen Jones doesn't want KJ Wright to interfere with LVE and Jalen Smith. That's what it tells me right there. Maybe the money wasn't right. I still wish they would have signed. They would have found a way to sign him because I love the familiarity. You always want some former players who play great in a system to be on that new team. And we got Quasi, yes, we got Keanu Neal, but KJ Wright would have definitely fit the bill. I believe they would have found a way to utilize all linebackers and stuff like that. But we needed that. We needed that just to get a little bit better than we was last year. I don't think a rookie player is going to come in here and definitely just on that defensive side just make a big change. But veterans can do that, and that's one guy that I really thought that they would have made it work. Listen, if it's a 1 or 2 year deal, I mean, let's keep it real. Is it that bad? Is it that bad that you couldn't give him a 2 year deal if that was the argument? There was reports saying that Stephen Jones wanted a 1 year deal, not a 2 year deal. I mean, listen, I really don't get it. They should have just did it.
Yeah. And Joseph with the question says, looks like the Cowboys have linebacker targeted in the draft to pass on KJ, Micah Parsons at 10. I hope not personally. Micah Parsons would be my guy. There's other linebackers I do like in the first round, just not at 10. I've been pretty loud and proud when it comes to the other guy from Notre Dame, Jeremiah O, aka the Joker. I think he's the future of what the linebacker here is going to be in the NFL. 10's kind of a stretch, but if that's your guy, then that's your guy, right? So maybe they pulled the trigger there. A Bolton, for instance, from Missouri, who's suddenly, he was hot early in the draft process, has kind of slid down some. Maybe that's somebody that you circle at 44 now. The Cowboys were always going to take a linebacker, right? We weren't out of the weeds the same. Even with KJ here, they were going to take a linebacker. Now it just changes how much is that going to put pressure at what point that they're going to pull the trigger on one. First round, second round, third round. Maybe now you were thinking third and fourth. We got 2 picks in the third, 2 picks in the fourth. Well, now maybe you have to look at it a little bit more closely, maybe in the second round, and decide what you want to do there at linebacker. And there's still time. I mean, let's be clear. There is still time to go out here in free agency, add some people. It's not a foregone conclusion. We are kind of getting to that window where I think they're going to be done. But I do think that there's some things that are going to happen there. For me, I thought the KJ Wright deal was going to get done. I thought that there was a lot of quietness out of the star. We wasn't hearing about KJ going anywhere else and taking meetings. I felt like they were just trying to figure a way out to get it done. And, of course, it looks like they couldn't get it done. So now here we are today, which now makes me wonder when we talk about Sean Lee, right? And he's been deciding what he's going to do. And maybe that was the ace in the hole for Stephen Jones is like, well, I don't have, right? I don't, I have this, I have Lee back here. If he doesn't want to sign for what I want to sign, I think Lee will come back and play, and then we can still go draft. And, as compared to maybe if Lee went ahead and retired, maybe they pulled the trigger on KJ Wright. Do you think Lee had maybe a little bit of wiggle room as far as Stephen went with this negotiation?
I hope not. It's possible. We know how they feel about bringing back players like even Jason Witten. At one point, they said he's getting 25% of the snaps, and he basically taking all the snaps. So it wouldn't surprise me with Sean Lee that he was a big reason why, but he shouldn't be. At the end of the day, you want to get better. We're not at a time where you gotta be be buddy with these players. Yes, Sean Lee, we always going to love Sean Lee. But at the end of the day, what's been the issue? Injuries. Yeah. Injuries. Now, again, besides Jalen Smith had a big-time injury. He came back. He basically, shocked, told the world, listen, I'm going to be a good player. I'm going to be better. And he showed that. But outside of that, LVE, injured. Right? Sean Lee, injured. Mm-hmm. Right, we got a new guy, Keanu Neal here. I mean, Steve Jones. This was definitely a good move to help bolster up that defense, especially at linebacker. This is the question every year about linebackers. How many games are they going to play besides Jalen Smith?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where and I was always a proponent of giving him a couple-year deal because they've yet to pick up LVE's fifth-year option.
Exactly.
Depending on what Jalen does, they could move on from Jalen. Neil's a 1-year deal. You don't
Right.
want the cupboard just completely bare going into next offseason. Dan
Right.
Quinn guy made a lot of sense. He could be the voice in the room. But yeah, it just, for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. Whether it
Right.
was, well, we didn't want to do the 2-year or we didn't want to do the money. We're at the crossroads now that it's officially over. He's going to go look for other teams, and the Cowboys have moved on. So we'll have to wait and see. If the Cowboys do anything at linebacker before the draft, or if they go and maybe they go look at cornerback. I still think there's a chance they're going to add outside corner, whether it be a Brian Poole, a Casey Hayward. That way they're not just because no matter what at linebacker, they're not in the position where they have to take a guy at 10. By bringing in Neil, they're not a position. The only position that you look at right now where you're like, hey, if you don't add a piece, you really need to think about it at 10 is cornerback.
Right.
So yeah, Justin Wilson, maybe the medicals on the year are good. I mean, they're always good, and then he gets in the game and he breaks the collarbone, or he does something along those lines.
And that 50 option is due in May, I believe, the first week of May.
Yeah, and it's like and as Jacques brought up here, says you're paying LVE 9, Jalen 12. What was expecting them to pay KJ? The word was around $8 million. But if you're only doing it for 1 year, and that 9 and that 12 is going to be rolling off, I mean, it's not. I mean, you got to spend the money somewhere, right? Again, we'll have to wait and see what they do, what they bring in. Now, obviously, we've talked about these guys that are on the bench before, right? Luke Gifford, right? Francis Bernard, they brought in last year. So, I mean, the cupboard's not completely bare at linebacker. Obviously, we talked about Neil. Now you switch over to the cornerback position. Then you got some head scratches, right? You got Brown, Lewis, obviously Diggs, and then you have Maurice Candidate from last year who opted out, who's still under contract for this team. So, yeah, it's one of those interesting things, to look at. It looked like something that's going to get done, and for whatever reason, multi-year deal, it's not. And then we have to move on. It does affect the draft, obviously. Are you going to go earlier on a linebacker now than maybe you did before? We'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely have to wait and see. Speaking of the draft, I mean, a lot of stuff happening in the draft news today, right? We can kind of get into some of that. Now the smoke is beginning to fly, right? You ever watch was it Drill Bit Taylor and he's or whatever the movie is? He says, I'm throwing 7 different kinds of smoke, right? He's out here throwing 7 different types of smoke right now. Atlanta's ready. We've heard this from Atlanta. Atlanta's ready to move back. They're open to moving back. Then we got the head coach doesn't want a quarterback, but the GM says if a quarterback's there, they want a quarterback. Then we got Detroit Lions. They're ready to move back. But also they're saying if a quarterback falls in their lap, they're ready to pull the trigger on a quarterback. We just right before we came on, Teddy B just got permission from the Panthers to go seek a trade. We got Adam Schefter out here saying that he would be pretty surprised if Mac Jones is not the number 3 pick to the 49ers. Lots of things in this draft, man. Lots of things.
This is the fun part. This is the fun part. April is the best part of the draft. This is where pieces start being moved. Teams start making last-minute moves. We saw the Sam Darnold trade yesterday. Right? That just came out of nowhere. We knew it was going to happen eventually. But hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Let me grab this
real quick. This isn't the same situation with the Earl Thomas and stuff because KJ wasn't negotiating with other teams while he was talking about Dallas. He was in there. He was ready. He was quiet. He was even responding to different guys. He was sitting here waiting. This isn't the same kind of situation of other guys beforehand kind of using Dallas to get paid. I think he wanted to be here with Dan Quinn. It just fell through. It's a little bit different here. And now we'll go watch him. Apparently he's open to going back to Seattle. We'll wait and see. But go ahead there.
Yeah, so basically, again, this is the best time of the draft where as we get closer, a lot of moves start to be being made, a lot of last-minute moves. Teams pull the trigger. Whatever it is, we saw the Eagles, what they did with the 49ers and the Miami Dolphins, how, they went from number 6 to number 12. Miami went to number 6, 49ers went to number 3. Now there's stuff out there that the Niners want Mac Jones, who we was like, oh, my God, like Mac Jones all of a sudden now, a top 3 player, this is the fun part of the draft. But a lot of moves can affect the Dallas Cowboys and where they're going to be picking at and who might be available. That's the part right there. So it's exciting times.
Yeah, the idea that we could see 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10 is pretty insane. I wouldn't have been a betting, you know, yeah. I mean, I saw 3 to 4 for sure, 3 to 4 for sure. But Mac Jones, even whenever they traded up and that first got talked about the Niners going after Mac Jones, I was kind of like, I don't know about that. But Adam Schefter coming out today saying that he would be pretty shocked if Mac Jones isn't the pick at 3, and then that's going to push Fields, an Atlanta native anyways, down to 4. I think it's going to be hard pressed for Atlanta to pass on Fields. The way that Matt Ryan's contract is set up is for 1 year. The head coach that is there now thinks he can play longer than 1 year, maybe 2 or 3. So, we'll have to wait and kind of and see what happens.
Bump your heads over there.
Right. And then, of course, the thing also I talked about today is from this point going forward, but we're just going to hear a lot about the defensive players. They've all the national media has ran the well dry on these offensive players. And now we're going to hear about these defensive players a ton now to try to help them get the board. Because, right now we're looking there like, man, there's not going to be a defensive player in the top 9. Really? Really?
Here's the thing, BJ.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Parsons can be picked in the top inside the top 9. He definitely can, and the team is Denver. Between Denver, Detroit, those are my 2 teams that can be able to pick Michael Parsons. But Denver, they have linebacker issues already right now. What's his name? Bradley Chubb, who they drafted a couple of years ago. They're not really feeling him a little bit. Von Miller's they wanted him to take a pay cut. They're still talking about that right now. So Michael Parsons makes sense for Denver. As far as Detroit, they need that. They need to add some plus from guys in their defense, just as much as their offense. But the issue is,
I was going to say they need wide receivers pretty bad because they lost Golladay and Marvin Jones this offseason.
Right. So, but see, now with that being said, when it all boils down to it, the only reason why I wouldn't want my Cowboys to draft Michael Parsons is because we all know how the media love to dig up old stuff. And let's say we draft him,
he's got some baggage.
You already know what's going to happen. Right. We've seen that with Ezekiel Elliott in the past. So that's my only reason. But as far as Michael Parsons, listen, he's an outstanding player. Listen, without a doubt, I know he could play good for this football team. Without a doubt. But it's just the issues.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think you can't rule out Parsons in Miami either, just because they let Van Noy go. You have a decent amount of head coach there. There's a possibility. I think they're going to get one of those guys from Bama for Tua that he used to throw to in Waddle or Smith. But I mean, you can't rule him out there. I mean, and Denver could go quarterback as well. I mean, yeah, they did sign some guys, but a lot of them are 1-year deals. So they do need to add. Somebody there. So I think Surtain and I think Parsons definitely you can see go in the top 10. Depending on how this thing falls, the quarterbacks is really the wild card in all this, because at that point, if we say the first 4 guys, I mean, very easily the first 4 picks are quarterbacks. We know the first 3 are for sure. Like sign still delivered. The first 3 are quarterbacks. That's period. And then depending on the quarterback there at 4, then that could be quarterback as well. But then you get to 5. I mean, I think Cincinnati's taking Chase. I think they're going to get Burrow his guy. I think they're going to go get Chase, right? AJ Green's out the building. They've done some work on this offensive line during free agency. I think it's going to be Chase. 6, then you're going to get to, again, now you get to the Dolphins. What are they going to do there? 7, and they've said, the line said they'll take a quarterback. What if Trey Lance is there? Do you see, do they go ahead and take Trey Lance there and sit on him? Even if Trey Lance makes it to, let's say they don't take Trey Lance. Let's say they take one of the wide receivers, right? Well, what if Trey Lance is there at 8 for the Panthers? No guarantee that they're not going to pull the trigger there either.
Right. And also number 9 with Denver, because Denver, if they already has if a quarterback lands on their side, that they maybe consider that. So listen, we all want as many quarterbacks to go in that top 9 as possible, just for a very good player to fall in our laps, and we get to make a choice of what we want to do. Definitely. Yeah. Listen, my biggest fear was once that Sam Darnold trade happened, I'm like, geez, okay, it's going to be hard for the Cowboy Nation to get Kyle Pitts. But I don't want now Surtain taken earlier, like say by Carolina, who needs cornerback help, and then all of a sudden Denver, there's no quarterback for Denver. They'll come out and say, well, you know what, we'll take Horn. Now, what does that leave Dallas with? Let's just say if Surtain is out and Horn is out. right? Pitts is out. What are we gonna do now? The only guy worthy is Rashawn Slater.
Right.
Now, do we get Rashawn Slater, or do we trade backwards, or hey, do we go JOK? Do we take a wide receiver 1 through 4? That's the hard part. I know I saw a mock today. I forgot who was it by. That I was BJ. You don't know. I prayed on it. I actually prayed on it. I really did. The mock basically was, of course, Lawrence number 1, Zach Wilson to the Jets at number 2. Number 3, the 49ers took Mac Jones.
Right.
Atlanta came out and took Penei Sewell.
Mm-hmm.
At number 5 is the Bengals. They took Rashawn Slater. Number 6, it was the Miami Dolphins. They took Chase. I forgot what was happening with 7 and 8, but Denver took another quarterback. And at 10, the Cowboys had Pitts, Surtain, Horn, right in their laps.
Right.
And I was like, boom. You can pick your poison.
You pick those guys, you're pretty happy. I mean, I think for the Pitts train to keep rolling, what you would really want to see is the Bengals take Sewell.
Right.
I think if the Bengals take Sewell, then I think Chase is a lock at 6 to the Dolphins at that point. And then we kind of get there because I think if Slater's on the board, if Slater and Trey Lance are on the board at 8 for the Carolina, I think they're going that route. Because right now, if you look at Carolina's starting left tackle, it's between Little and Cam Irving to battle at left tackle.
Right.
They need some help there. Obviously, you just went and traded. You want to see what you got in Sam Darnold. You know the offensive line was atrocious up there in New York with the Jets. You need to go get an offensive lineman there. So I think there's a possibility. But again, we just got to wait and see. I think there's some great scenarios where we have great options at 10. For me, look, if it's one of the offensive linemen, I'm not going to cry about it. If it's one of the cornerbacks, I'm good. If it's Pitts, y'all know I'm already dancing a jig. I can almost be Waddle, the speed. Even though I'm a Anthony Schwartz guy later in the draft for my speed take and special teams. But the smoke that is happening, the trades of quarterbacks, the Adam Schefter talking about Mac Jones. Obviously, they're starting to push some of these guys down the board. To us. I think at this point I can confidently say there's going to be a guy on the board that they're going to want to take and they're not going to move back. Just kind of how I feel about it. You're preaching to the choir, Joseph. Hey, I wasn't very happy when we signed him last year. Although for the time that he was able to play for us, he did an adequate job, but I'm with you. I don't think you want to go into the season as him being your starting left tackle. So yeah, man, it's definitely one of those things. For me, the 2 bugaboos for me at 10 that I'm out on for sure, and I think Ryan just posted it too. Look, I'm all the way out on DN. And I've already said I don't even mention DNs on my show, right? On any show, when we're on, I don't mention DNs. I don't want no DN, and not at 10. And then of course the back door to that is, man, I try to put my arms around Parsons, but I just with all the baggage and what's going to happen if he gets drafted here, it's just going to be another headache. I'm just good. I'm just good on Parsons. And again, the linebacker that I want is a little bit of a reach when we start talking about Jeremiah O from Notre Dame. So man, I think we're looking at the tight end. I think we're looking at cornerback, and I think we're looking at offensive lineman. And depending on their board, I think that's where they're going to go. But as we were just discussing, these quarterbacks, man. I mean, if we get 5 of them bad boys to go in front of us, man, that pushes a lot of great options. Pushes a lot of great options for us. A lot better. The closer we're getting to this thing, and through film work, and we're seeing it kind of pan out with the trades and what's happening, man, just makes you feel a lot better about 10 going through there. I mean, yeah, we wish there was that Chase Young or that Jalen Ramsey type to go out there and get, but they're not there. I mean, it's just what it is. But we can still make some hay here, as they say, at 10 with this pick. And then, of course, understanding where the meat of this draft is in those rounds 2 through 4, a lot of great prospects you can kind of plug and play with having 5 picks. We can go get active and do some damage. Maybe even come back up late first round. Maybe turn those 3rd and 4th into 2 second-round picks even. So I'm pretty excited, man. What's going on? Joe from Italy is always tuning in, man. And, yeah, Jock, exactly. Even 4 of them going. right? Even 4 of them going is going to push, some of these guys down. I hope the wide receivers get hot, man. That's where I'm at. Yeah. I mean, look, we already know it's out there, right? That Burrow is campaigning for his guy in Jamar Chase. By all means, do it. Hey, you got 2 of there. You got 2 Bama guys, a Heisman Trophy winner. Man, go ahead. Detroit, boy, y'all lost 2 wide receivers. Man, go on ahead and do it. Pull it all up. I talked about this before, Joseph, and I say they should. And look, and I'm not even talking about this being on the look, and I'm taking my Pitts hat off of this, right? I'm not talking about going up to 7 to go get Pitts. What I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys organization, if they have a guy that they've pinpointed that they want, whether it's Sewell, whether it's Horn, whether it's Shatan, if they have a guy that they think they got to get in this draft, you haven't been really aggressive in free agency, as you see across the bottom of the screen. We're letting KJ Wright leave the building. We're not going to sign him. But then go get aggressive. You got 2/3 anyways. Right. Go get aggressive. Come up the board. You can still move up in the 3rd round with the 2 4th-round picks and come up the board some. Go get the guy that you have selected, whoever that is. I agree. Spoon,
I'm with you. BJ, when you mentioned to me yesterday, I said preach it. Preach it. Start the train.
Yeah.
All aboard. Start the train. Because, I mean, listen, if you're not going to be aggressive in signing guys in free agency, and there's some good guys out there still. At least go in the draft and make sure you get the guy you want. Don't settle. If you see the draft is not going the way you want it to be, where that guy is going to make it at 10, get aggressive, get up there. Detroit will move down. Detroit will take an extra pick to move down. They're on rebuilding mode. You can move up in Detroit's spot to get somebody.
Right.
Do it. Maybe even Carolina.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. I think the Detroit trade down is very real, and it cost you the 75. Ron says, how likely do you think we'll actually do a double dip in the 2nd or 3rd round? You're not going to take 10 picks, guys, and this is kind of the thing I've been preaching here for a while. The Cowboys aren't going to draft 10 players. I promise you. They're not going to draft 10 guys. They're going to get aggressive at some point, whether that's in the 1st round, whether that's coming up in the 2nd or 3rd. I think they're going to get aggressive. Again, I don't think 10 guys is going to make this roster. And I think they're definitely going to go through and make some things happen and be aggressive. We definitely know that Steve likes to get a little aggressive. Jerry's always liked to be a little aggressive in the draft here and there, whether it's trading back or trading up, right? We traded up last year to go get our center and Tyler Badaz, right? It is what it is when it comes to it. At one time, that boy – never late, always on time.
Yeah, I'm always on time. I'm a little bit late today, man. What's going on, Cowboys Nation? What's up, bro?
Man, not a whole lot, man. We kind of delve off into the this draft talk a little bit. Let me grab this one real quick. So I'm gonna get a little something here. And Greg said, why would the Cowboys have to tackle with 10 the pick Collins and Smith back so they can sit wasted pick or draft? Okay. Or draft an overhyped tight end at 10. Well, Gregory lost me on the overhype, sir. Sorry on that one. The Cowboys need to draft defense after 2020 season. And here's the thing that it comes to that is if you go get a Slater, he can play guard for you right away. And then gets Connor Williams off the field. I'm with you, though, Gregory, when it comes to that. There's enough talent in this draft offensive line that you have to take 1 to 10. But again, we have to put our glasses on and what they're thinking about, and that way we can prep y'all for what we think the Cowboys are going to do, not so much what we would do. Obviously, we give you our takes, but what the Cowboys might do. If you think Pitts is just a tight end, we can talk about that later. And as far as this, and actually I had this, and I did this tweet earlier. I was like, for the people with the idea, the hot take that, well, if you draft Pitts, get ready to lose games 49-45 is lazy. There's not other picks in this draft. You got a new defensive coordinator in here. It's a lazy take. So neither here nor there on that. But yeah, I'm with you with the offensive lineman though, Gregory. We're betting 500, right? We're 50-50 here, me and you are on that front. But with that being said, KJ Wright, man, I'll let you go ahead and we'll circle back around real quick since you just got here. And I'll let you go ahead and give the nation what you think about the KJ Wright news of him, as Fisher put it, not a fit and the dream is over and we're moving on.
Yeah, not a fit means he's not going to come for the low bottom price that Stephen Jones is probably giving him. So it goes back to, man, when I posted that kind of, went to the Star Gang group and kind of sent everything to a frenzy that day. the Dallas Cowboys aren't an attractive landing spot. And when I say that, y'all, it's not a slight on the Dallas Cowboys. It means that if we want to get high caliber players, we are going to have to pay for that. We can't give these low bargain deals. So shouts out to my guy, Darren Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs here in town. There's now reports that KJ Wright is a mutual interest of him coming to Kansas City. So you see how quickly that fits. So I feel like the conversation when it comes to this whole KJ Wright, was it between 1 year deal, 2 year deal, tomato, it really doesn't matter. You have a Dan Quinn guy. You need veteran leadership. You need linebacker depth. Why not just get the deal done and make it happen? But I feel like for some reason, Stephen Jones, once again, probably tried to lowball, KJ Wright. And he probably said, oh, hell no, I'm not taking that. Just to play in Dallas, I'll kind of just wait and see what other options I have. And so here we are, Dallas Cowboys fans, we're stuck holding the bag and missing out on another opportunity. And I said this on Twitter a second ago. I feel like this free agency has been very lackluster, man, because there's a lot of talent that we could have brought in for a great discounted price, and we missed the ball on a lot of opportunity, man. So I'm ready to focus on draft talk at this point, man, because I feel like I have no faith in Dallas Cowboys doing what's right in free agency. So
yeah, I think some of the in my take here, and see what you think. I think some of the negotiating between Steven and KJ Wright was Steven in the back of his mind said, "Well, I still got this Sean Lee Trump card in my back pocket, And if I don't get the deal done, then I think Sean Lee will come back and play. Maybe that's why Sean Lee hasn't made the announcement. I think if Sean Lee had already came out and said, man, I'm done. I'm hanging him up. I'm retiring. It's a wrap. Mm-hmm. I think maybe this deal has a little bit more sauce, a little bit more fire to it, and they actually get the deal done with KJ. Right.
And that's a bad, mentality to have, that Sean Lee is the reason why we held up this getting the deal with KJ Wright, man. That's crazy when you kind of fix your lips to say it, man. So, but it just proves to show what I've been trying to explain to a lot of us, man. It's like, if we're going to sit back and think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to discount, bargain, shop in free agency, not be aggressive via trade, not be aggressive in the draft, and just magically build a Super Bowl contender, it ain't happening. It's just not happening. So something's going to have to give. Either we're going to have to find an identity in free agency, or in the draft, or in the trade market. One of those three. But as of right now, we kind of just sit on our hands for the most part. So yeah, man, it's I knew something was kind of happening because it was taking too long with this whole KJ Wright story. I'm like, okay, what's really the hold up? And then I guess the news broke today, so it is what it is. He's dead.
Yeah. It's the thing I always that I talk about. There's 3 ways to add talent to your team, right? There's the draft, there's free agency, and there's via trade. And the Cowboys just consistently, even though we kind of saw them be a little different last year, a smidge, right? They can't. It was almost like, man, I kind of dipped my toe in the water, man. I got burned. Yeah. We going back to what I know. We ain't doing that. Right. It was like, we're going back over here, and that's just the problem. I don't need the Cowboys to go out here and be world beaters every year in free agency. That's not what I need. That's not what I'm campaigning for. But you can't just significantly ignore 1/3 of player acquisition talent-wise and think you're just going to automatically build this thing. Because even when you do get a guy, say a Byron Jones, you don't pay him. You drafted him. Right. You didn't pay him. You had 2 linebackers in-house in Anthony Hitchens and in Damian Wilson. Right. Well, you didn't pay them. They went to Kansas City and they won a Super Bowl. And then they went to another Super Bowl. So, yeah, maybe you do draft some guys that are decent. Yeah, now you got your misses like Xavier Woods and whatnot. But whatever the case is, the guys that are good, you're like, oh, we're not going to pay that much. Right. Though. Oh. Right. And Cheeto. Now trade-wise, okay, you went and traded for Dan Quinn. You went and traded for Robert Quinn. Okay, that panned out. You went and traded for Amari Cooper. Okay, that panned out. I don't care about your swings and misses at safety that you try to go get because you didn't get the deal done. Right. But again, you just have to know when. Like, for instance, like Green Bay doesn't always spend in free agency. Right. But every once in a while, they'll go get you the Smith brothers. Right. Or they'll go get you a Peppers. Right. They'll go, Patriots over the years, they were big spenders until this past year. But they would always go get it. Oh, let's go get Darrelle Revis real quick. Right. Yeah, let's go get him. So you have to be active in those sentiments of, like this year, I thought it was prime. But the safeties dried up. We know that. But it was prime to say, you know what? We're going to fix the defensive tackle. We're going to get, even if it's not Dalvin Tomlinson, Jerron Reed. Even if it's not Jerron Reed, Malcolm Brown from the Saints, where the Jags basically gave him, hey, here's like a 2 year later 7th round pick, whatever, get out of here, right? Or you could have went and got a Hankins signed for like 3.5. Like there were so many opportunities for them to go do something to fix it.
Right.
And they just didn't. So, yeah, it's very frustrating. And, as we're talking about this, I'm saying they're not going to draft 10 guys. Maybe they are going to draft 10 guys.
Right. All rookie team to say the defense, man. Here we go.
I like my guys. I like my guys. You know how, Steven, I like my guys. So,
well, he's not even signing his guys anymore. That's the thing. So, like, man, it's just. Yeah, and I felt like, I had a glimmer of hope coming off the Dak press conference, seeing how Dak kind of left some money on the table earlier up front in his contract. Okay, 1 year deals due to COVID pullback. Like, okay, we're going to be active, man. And we literally just sat back on our hands and signed a 1 year deal for Keanu Neal, DeMonte KZ, Brandon Urban, Jordan Lewis. Hey, welcome back. And, and then they're good. Let's go play some football. And so what we've done, we are literally backing into the NFL draft with no outside corner. So it really kind of pigeonholes us to being forced to make a decision possibly. So that's where we're going, because even though I'm kind of out on the Surtain train, well, damn it, man, we're getting to the point where we don't have an outside corner really unless we're going to toss Jay Lou out there. So we might be having to force our hand and make a decision that we shouldn't. So
and of course, Anthony Brown has spent some time outside for what it's worth.
Yeah,
right.
He's probably spent a little bit more time than Jay Lou even. Right. Aaron Johnson, and that leads right into this question from Aaron Johnson with what or who do you guys think can fix our cornerback/safety issues? Well, we think we got a guy in Wilson. Right, we think we got a guy there. Been kind of disabled, played pretty good. Want to see him progress. You got KZ coming in, right, to hold it down. That's a cheap contract, though.
Right.
That's a cheap contract. Makes me a little nervous. Doesn't mean he's really going to be here, depending on what happens. You have to break the glass with Keanu Neal if you need to move him back there as well. And then we got to go look at the draft, right? And we talked about, we brought back Jordan Lewis. We got Anthony Brown on the table. Maurice Kennedy comes back. He opted out last year. He's on the roster. So yeah, man, you start looking if they don't add a guy outside, whether it's a Hayward or a Poole type or Sherman, even whatever. Right. If you don't add an outside guy, then you really got to start thinking, hey, no matter what's on the board, irregardless, is it we take a Surtain or Horn at 10,
right?
Even though we can kind of talk about guys later in the draft that they could get,
right?
But I mean, you're kind of painting yourself into a corner here at 10, with a corner that can go outside and go there. And look, and maybe that's the plan. Maybe they're looking at this thing, look at these quarterbacks going, and they're saying, hey, we're going to get one or the other, and we're good with either one.
Right.
They have the inside track on both of them, whether it's about Diggs playing with them and being down there in Alabama, whether Dan Quinn and his, one of his best friends is the coach over there at South Carolina with Horn. They've had talks. They've had plenty of talks with Horn. It could very well be it. I mean, I don't think anybody here is going to sit here and say, if we walk away with the cornerback at 10, I don't think nobody's going to be crying.
Right.
Unless
it's the one with back issues.
Oh, yeah, Caleb Farley. Oh, yeah, come on. No. Come on, man. Don't bring up the
not at 10. 44, not at 10.
Yeah. Don't know what's going on. Jeffrey Man tuning in as always. But yeah, it's a failure to get something done with the to have a player like KJ Wright available at this stage of free agency leading into the draft. Man, it's I think it's disheartening. I think it's just another stab. Death by 1,000 cuts during free agency. Be like, okay, this all makes sense, right? It's a guy that played for Quinn. It's a guy to come in and do these things. And for we saw, all of a sudden Dak followed him, and he went, and then everything went quiet, and we like, oh, that's the precursor. Oh, the star's quiet. All of a sudden KJ Wright start responding to anybody. He's quiet. Okay. I thought, okay, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to hear something. Oh, we heard something, all right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, player. Oh, that $8 million? No, we don't do that here in Dallas.
Yeah. That's what I said. When Mary last Wednesday told me that his agent was Todd France, I said, oh, no. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here we go.
You already know how the relationship is. You already know.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, and then look, and then watch, and here's what'll happen. Man, set your watches to it, set your clocks to it. If he goes over there and signs with Kansas City and he signs for like 1 year, $5 million,
right.
everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, why didn't we get it done? It's like that's that Super Bowl discount.
Well, people can understand too that the KJ Wright market overall is not great. We're the only team linked to him. If there was multiple teams,
I agree,
different story. Right now, he may have to just If Dallas said no, you know what? I need this check. I got to sign with somebody quickly. His market is not high.
Right.
So, it is what it is. If the Chiefs may well say, you know what? Hey, $5 million.
Right.
And why? Listen, he wants a championship. If I want to get the money, at least let me go chase the ring.
So I saw someone post in the chat, because the Chiefs are moving on from Wilson, so maybe Cowboys going to bring Wilson back in the house, linebacker, and we kind of swap it out, and they replace Wilson with KJ, right? And he's played here in Dallas before, and he went to Kansas City, won a Super Bowl, and I feel like he can.
I mean, you got the gun charge here. You know how you feel about that? Yeah, you got a gun charge here. Brandon Boyd saying not surprised about the KJ news. I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I shouldn't be. Normally, I wouldn't be. I am because of the way that it played out. I think that's what surprised me more than anything is it was foddering. And just back to what I said, it was kind of quiet on both fronts. That's typically when we see deals done. I kind of expected early this week, okay, this deal's getting done. But man, here we are, and I am left holding the bag, if you will.
Yeah,
that's just Steven said, nah, fam, I can't do it. Not going to do it. Now there was a mock draft out here from Jeremiah Daniel, right? Oh, he put a mock draft together. Y'all see who he had the Cowboys taking at 10, huh?
Yeah, I said delete that.
Yeah. Did you see it, birthday boy?
I see. Not only did I seen it, I posted it on purpose, and also I believe I seen the Tuck's picture. I saw who else was picked after we picked that guy. And I was like, you're bored?
Yeah.
You're bored. You're bored. Yeah. There's no way in hell we get Quiddy Page. Meanwhile, so Taylor Horn go right after us.
Right.
That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah. But again, that's why I tweeted. I said, we're to that moment. They've ran the offensive well dry. Right. They're going to the national media the next couple of weeks is fixing to start pushing these defensive players up the board hard and heavy. And it started today.
Right. Yeah, here we go. But hey, go ahead. Keep on. Push it through to Carolina too while you're at it. So
wait a minute. Did you guys read the article about Basham being the worst free agent pickup?
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Wait and see. Wait and see. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
definitely wait. Energy.
Yeah, the Quiddy Pady. I was like, oh, bro, please no.
I can't do it.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm like, no, don't do it. But again, I know what they're doing. They're trying to push him up, right? Yeah. Also, I guess before we hopped on, I don't know if you saw this shit or not. Jay Tuck, Teddy B got his permission to go seek a trade. Did you see that?
Okay. No, I didn't see that yet.
So more of the carousel is moving on that front. Definitely want to touch that as well. I mean, for me, like I said, man, great toilet paper material. I will too. Hey, look, man, yeah. I will too, Joseph. Man, look, I don't want defensive end at 10. No one can look. There's nobody that can talk me into defensive end. I don't care who he is at 10. Period.
Man, we gonna do a lot of fun stuff on draft night, man, for the Star Game family, bro. But if that happens, I ain't coming back for day 2, y'all. I don't care what happens. I'm out.
All right, here we go. We gotta put it up there. Any of the defensive ends at 10 or Parsons?
Parsons.
Yeah, I gotta break my rule, man. Go ahead, give me Parsons. I got to break my rule, man. Go ahead. Man, I love Parsons. Man, he wants to be a cowboy. Arms around him. Man, they lied on him. He didn't do none of that stuff there.
Right. Yeah, man.
Oh, man. I don't even, man. I tell you what, that is something else, man. Now, look, if a defensive end happens to slide in, I mean, hey, Miami, I know you got the defensive coach and he's cut from that cloth of old hoodie, and we've seen the hoodie kind of reach up there and grab some guys defensively, like, oh, where'd you taking him here? By all means, Miami, go right ahead.
Yeah, I need the media to talk a few of these defensive guys into the top 10, man, because we taking some bullets, man, here on this pitch train, man, but we put our head down and keep riding. So
keep riding, keep pushing it. We asked this question earlier. Before you got on. Are you giving up number 75 to go to number 7?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I am, but they're not.
Right. I mean, again, if the Cowboys have their guy, look, I'm taking Pitts out of that. I'm saying their guy. If they got a guy there. They're looking at 5. They're looking at 6. Like, hey, here's our guy. We can get him. I think they absolutely should at least be. You wasn't aggressive in free agency. You might as well be aggressive in the draft and go get the guy that y'all want. If that's Horn, so be it. If it's Sertan, so be it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go all the way to Parsons yet, but these defensive ends of Miami scary. And if it's Pitts, so be it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I personally would, because you see all the rotating going around. We're hearing conversation about Atlanta, but want to get out of 4. Maybe Carolina, Detroit, maybe want to get out their position as well. Like, just go ahead, move up, take your opportunity, man, and get who you want. So, hey, that's gonna be a long night, that 151, man. You might see you for a while, Joe. If you take 100%. That 151 to the head, man.
100%.
Hey, look. I mean, if you take that 151 to the head, we're going to bring him on live for a second.
Yeah, he's gonna be out. He's gonna be out, man. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That's gonna be something else, man. But yeah, I think a lot of it though today with the news of KJ Wright and everything happened, man. And I was kind of leading up to this. I went from a C to a C plus on the free agency aside, and because we got Neal in, we got KZ. So I'm looking at the KZ contract and I'm looking at everything. I think I'm back down to a C. I think I see the vision, the length, guys that are rotational that'll help the run, and they're trying to build this thing towards the draft. But back to what you said right when you came on, Tuck, just there was so much available for them to go out there and do that was very cost efficient. That lines up with Stevens' pocketbooks that they just chose not to do. They just really choose not to do much of anything. Not that it's a surprise. I mean, even though we got a little bit of a glimpse last year and thought maybe they got Dak done, maybe that'll free them up some to go get one guy, and they just didn't do it. And then it's like, okay, we were all kind of, if you get a KJ Wright in here, okay, another leader, a dog, right? He's been there, done that. Okay, now we're kind of cooking, and for him to get out there, it's just like, yeah, okay, it gets you kind of sappy. You just start thinking about everyone we've signed over the past 4 years. Like, man, damn, boy, you know what? It's like Christmas. You're like, hey, man, I want to open up and get a Voltron too. Can I get one of the lions? Like everybody else got a lion. Right. I don't care which lion. I just want one lion. I'm like, my goodness, man. I just, doesn't mean, and I'll pivot off of that with 3 weeks leading up here. Do you think they're going to have any more free agents coming that they sign between now and the draft, guys, or do you think the door shut on free agency?
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, is there anything that we haven't really looked at where it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's what they were doing, that's what they were waiting on? But I mean, I've looked. I'm just like, I just don't know what their end game is. So at this point, I think they might bring in a few people, but nothing to get really excited about. Like, I want an impact guy, a cornerstone. If we're going to go corner, like an impact guy, someone's going to be a day one starter possibly. But I feel like right now it's just a lot of rotational guys just to add depth to the roster. I mean, at this point, I think like Alden Smith would be a guy we're bringing back. Like, okay, at least we got Alden. Like something, man. Like do something. So I don't see it, man. I just don't see another big signing coming in. I feel like we're going to go into the draft, and what we see is what we get. Like that's how bad it is. It's like we're kind of waiting. Like, okay, well maybe we can get Richard Sherman. Like we kind of been backed into a corner where Richard Sherman would be a good person to bring in because we let the cover run bare. There's really nothing out there. So I don't know. Yeah,
well, Spoon. Are you thinking bringing in more free agents between now and the draft, or are we done?
I say it's after the draft, but if it's before, they have to, unless a big name says, "Listen, I'll pay for free."
Right.
That's about it. That's the only. I think it's after the draft. I think it's done. They'll whatever they didn't address, they'll definitely go out there and sign. But the way the Cowboys and KJ Wright ended, don't even count on Sherman coming here. Don't even do that.
Right.
You still got Casey Hayward out there. You still got Clowney out there. Alden Smith. And listen. It's after the draft, just after.
Right. The other thing about the guys like Sherman, Alden Smith, and even Clowney, like they know their value, and they're not going to take these DeMonte KZ type deals. Keanu Neal, Keanu Neal was coming off an injury. I feel like if he wasn't, for the most part, he probably would have demanded a little bit more. But he wants to kind of prove himself. He was probably sold by Dan Quinn. The same thing with KZ. But some of these other guys, I'm like, nah, this is what you're offering. I ain't taking that. So.
Yeah, I think I think maybe one signing. I do believe they're still going to go out here and get an outside corner before the draft. And I think that's about it. So one or none is where I'm at, because I think most of these guys that are available now, once the draft comes and goes, back to what Spoon was saying, there's probably going to be some people still out there that they can go get. I think there's going to be a couple more guys brought in. Whether they get anything done or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, hey guys, I mean we're complaining about the free agency class, but I mean we did get a Pro Bowler. I mean, come on, now we got a 2-time Pro Bowler at long snapper. You know, got to feel good about that, right? Feeling pretty good now.
Yeah, hip hop. You know, and like I said, we signed Dak, and they said, Cowboy Nation, you got what you wanted. Don't ask me for nothing else. We're gone. That's what it really is. And so it's really just it's been Dak and nothing. Like I feel like my most exciting signing, to be honest with y'all, is Jordan Lewis. Like, okay, we signed Jay Lou. Okay, cool. You know, like
right.
You know, I feel like Keanu Neal's still going to remain to be unseen because there's a lot. It's different playing in Atlanta versus playing the bright lights of Dallas. Now you have an expectation because now we're going to be needing you to be something, you know, with Keanu Neal versus being a rotational guy and just adding a little bit more. Like we need you to be that guy because our linebacker core, for the most part, isn't going to remain intact. And so a lot of pressure is going to fall on Neal. And also with KZ, I mean, he has a little bit lower standard because he's just replacing Xavier Woods, but we're going to need him to step up as well, man. And Achilles injuries, different confidence issues, you know, different schemes, different, you know, team, things change. And so, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, man. It's, you know, one of those, you know, just one of those conundrums. You know, we look at the roster now, and, you know, as I've said along, I don't think they're going to, you know, even on this show I was talking about, they're not going to draft 10 guys. I'm like, well, will they? Nah, I don't. Maybe. Nah,
I say 8. I say 8.
Yeah. I think they're going to get 7 or 8. I think that's where you're at, and whether they move up from 10 to 7 or they trade them to the first round, or they go. To me, I think the sweet spot is finding a way to get 2 second-round picks. That's what I think. If you can get 2 second-round picks and really attack this defense in the second round, I think you can do a lot of things. Get you the defensive tackle that you want, and then maybe double dip. If you get a corner in the first round, maybe you get a safety there, or maybe double dip a corner even. So, yeah, there's, you know, linebacker-wise, you got to start thinking about it. We're going to be pretty frail, pretty thin at linebacker moving forward without a lot of guys, you know, basically on the last year of their deal. But, man, it's going to be a long, hard 3 weeks, guys.
Right.
Because we've kind of talked these guys to death. We're going to see the defensive players get pushed up, and the Cowboys are probably going to sit on their hands, and there's going to be a bunch of throwing darts at the wall and saying this and a lot of the smoke screens, right? Because back to the Atlanta thing, Atlanta, the head coach doesn't want to take quarterback, but he thinks that Matt Ryan's got 2-3 years left. Well, the GM says he wants a quarterback, and then all of a sudden, well, we want to trade out. So we're going to get a lot of those kinds of things. The Lions, we'll take it. If a quarterback falls in our lap, we'll take it. But hey, on the same token, we're looking to trade out. So you're one hand saying, we'll take a quarterback, but hey, somebody else going to get this quarterback.
The game's beginning.
The smoke is dead. The 7 different types of smoke is going to be. It started today, even with Schefter on radio saying that he'll be shocked if Mac Jones ain't taking it 3 and everything. And there's going to be a lot of that moving forward as they're pushing up these guys on defense. I guess, you know, we can get out of here on this one is the biggest free agency acquisition for this team was Dan Quinn. And he's going to be the Mr. Fix-It-All. And they think these players that were here are going to be better than they were last year in Nolan's scheme. Is that where we're at? Is that basically?
Well, I think you know right now what we're doing with the roster that we currently have in place, we're putting a lot of pressure on Dan Quinn, where he's actually going to have to make it happen. Going back to the groceries analogy, man, is like, you know, you want me to cook dinner, but bro, we ain't got no pepper, no salt, no seasoning, no nothing. But, you know, here's the entree, just make it work. And so I feel like that's where Dan Quinn is going to be. Now, naturally, our defense should improve just by, you know, just being out there. Like, you can't get no worse, especially in the run game. But, you know, I want to see a vast improvement. I just don't want to be kind of a middle-of-the-road type defense. Like, I want to be able to get critical stops in key moments and see these players actually take a leap forward. I don't want to see Jalen Smith consistent, just a constant flatlining. I don't want to see DeMarcus Lawrence flatlining. I want to see players improve and get better. Same thing with LVE, Randy Gregory across the board. And so I feel like Dan Quinn is going to need to propel this defense to a next level for me to actually give him the credit. Like, okay, you actually did something. If we go from, 31st in run defense and now we're 23rd. That's not good enough for me. Like I need a lot better than that. I feel like
Right.
with Dan Quinn's expectations for me, honestly, we should at least be a top 15 defense across the board.
Simone, Dan Quinn's the biggest free agent acquisition.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, for what we saw last season with Nolan and the players came, it was reported the players didn't like him and stuff like that. They didn't agree with the scheme and everything. He was an important piece. Now, he got to put it all together with what we have. And at the end of the day, you want to give him something to work with. Yes, you got Kazi, that was a need. You got Keanu O'Neal, that was a need. It shouldn't stop.
Right.
Keep going. It shouldn't stop. And we still want to know Reggie Robinson. What's his role?
And that's worse because you had this position coach saying you're going to be cornerback, and then Dan Quinn came and said, no, I like you better at safety. So you're already, sending mixed signals to this kid who couldn't get on the field last year.
Right. So right there is tough, and it's as Cowboys fans, we want to see improvement. Not only with the signings, but just the approach.
Right.
The approach is flat. It's like flat soda. You want a nice glass of soda, and it's disgusting. You want to pour the soda out. You want to pour it out. And it's disgusting. That's what it's like. And Dak Prescott should not be the best free agency signing. That's our quarterback. He's automatic. You don't count, right? Yes, we all banged for Thomason. That ain't happened. You got us Urban. I think Urban silently it was a very good move, right? But you don't stop there. You can't always go for bargains. You got to sometimes the way you move is the way the team's going to respond. If you move, no disrespect, I haven't cursed all evening. If you move like shit, we're going to play like shit. Right. And that's it. We don't want no more shit. We're tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of saying shit. That's it. That's where it's at. And right now, BJ hit it right. It's going to be a kind of a ball, guessing game 3 weeks, repeating the same thing over and over until we see something different. Now, don't get me wrong. The other teams, like the Patriots, the Atlanta Falcons, their trade, if there's a trade going to be involved, it can affect the Cowboys. It really can. At number 10, again, I know we all banging the head for Pitts, right?
Right.
We all know it's a slim chance because why the move with the Jets did. Now, again, if we see breaking news, the Cowboys go from trading with Detroit Lions or the Carolina Panthers and move to either 7 and 8. Now we're gonna be like, oh, what's going on here? This is where we're gonna say, all right, you're stepping up, you're being aggressive. What are you going after?
Right.
We all know it's not quarterback. It's maybe a receiver.
Right.
Is it offensive lineman? That's what Cowboy Nation want to be at. We don't want to be lost in the whole thing where it's like this.
Yeah.
We don't want to be there.
That's what we're doing. Just sitting at 10, just waiting for something to fall to us, and whenever we get, we'll get.
Now, last year was different. Why? Because last year, of course, it was COVID year, and it was very hard. And I thought they did a great job how they did. But you know what's great about it? Jerry Jones on the yacht. All right. Mm-hmm. As we're watching the draft on live, we're seeing my man go to the Raiders. It's getting hotter. Jerry Jeudy going to Denver. Oh, it's a trade. Atlanta moved from the Dallas. We're like, oh, this can't be seen. No, it's David Terrell.
Right.
All of a sudden now we in it. We in it. CeeDee Lamb. BJ almost ran over his boy, broke the door outside. Man had the candle lit. God forbid, there was no fire. Everybody's going crazy. That's what we felt like change.
Right.
Then we go to the season. Look what happened last year. Injuries. The approach was terrible. There's guys in free agency. Let's get this guy in there. No, I like our guys. Right. We go into the off season. You sign Dak. Okay, free agency time. Bargains.
Right.
Conversation with KJ Wright. Just conversation. You know what? They wasn't even talking about the contract. They were talking about the Wanda and the Wanda Vision and Falcon to win the That's about the whole time. It was never about a contract, right? Breaking news. There you go. And look where we at right now. still feeling the same way as the last couple of years, just flat.
Yeah, I think the thing with this organization is there's never really a sense of urgency.
Yeah,
right. There's just not a sense of urgency that permeates throughout the building. That winning is important and we have to do it now. They give it a lot of lip service. They definitely like to talk about Jerry being old and they got to get one before Jerry gets out of here. And they do those, they have those kinds of conversations. Right. But I mean, it's a lot of lip service. There's not enough urgency that permeates throughout their actions, whether it be free agency, via trade, via draft. At times, it's kind of, okay, we'll take this guy. Okay, this guy fell to us. It's not that we're not did anything to go get CeeDee Lamb. He just happened to fall to them, and they didn't muck it up. They didn't muck it up. Like, okay, CeeDee Lamb fell to us. All right, let's take him. Right. So again, they have to. Steven has got to get, a sense of urgency about him and the way that he's going about his business. I mean, because even with the players that we sign, right, that we keep in-house, right? I mean, look at D-Law. I'm not going to talk about the Dak and how long that took. Look at D-Law. There wasn't a sense of urgency till like they were up against the clock with a knife and a surgery on the table. Right. With Dak, your franchise quarterback, there wasn't a sense of urgency to get it done. It was, okay, well, we can't bite the bullet of another franchise tag. We have to do it now. So there's just a lack of sense of urgency from this front office and this brass that gets out here and gets things done. And
except with Zeke, there's a sense of urgency with running back.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he had to hold out and go to Cabo and do some other things, right? And that was the key. They would to be right because they took him over Jalen Ramsey. They want to make sure they were right. And the team ran through him supposedly. And those things, led to that signing happening. But, Spoon, you're right. That permeates throughout the organization. It goes back and whenever Jalen said, "Oh, we're not on Sunday night. Oh, the owner ain't tripping." I ain't tripping.
That's real.
Yeah. I mean, attitude is reflected in leadership. And when there's not a sense of urgency within the building, then the players are going to respond with the same kind of attitude, man. And that's just what we're missing. Hence why I said I would like to see them get active. Whether it's going 10-7 or whether it's trading back into the first round or turning these 5 picks between rounds 2 through 4 into a couple of second-round picks even. Get proactive, sense of urgency to go really add the players that need to come in here and fix this team.
Right.
You know how they always say that when the siblings always take something off the parents? I want Stephen Jones I don't know. What do you have with Jerry? I really don't know. No disrespect. But that attitude, the way Jerry, look, Tuck pointed out a while back. Jerry ran to Deion Sanders' hotel. I got you. You're going to be a Cowboy. No, you're going to be a Cowboy. When Jerron Reed was released out of nowhere, Jerry would have ran after that.
I'm on it, Matt. Go ahead.
When Earl Thomas was released off of his situation, Jerry would have ran after that.
Right.
And the team came out and said, I want to I'm trading Jamal Adams or Minka. Jerry would have ran after that. The same way a long time ago when the Detroit Lions said we're trading Roy Williams. Right. Jerry went after that. And I wasn't even mad at the trade. You know why? Because you saw an opportunity. You felt that if one receiver goes down, listen, mistakes happen. But when I see that you're aggressive and trying to make this team better, I'm not going to go against that. It happened, but at least you tried. But when you sit there and you just approach something, but not really be serious about it, like say Jamal Adams. Minka Fitzpatrick. No, Jamal Adams. Well, we'll offer you a taco. Like seriously? It's stuff like me where there is no urgency for this team under Stephen Jones, and it's a problem. The minute Jalen Smith and La'el Collins says we'll take a pay cut if you resign us, we saw breaking news. We didn't even hear about negotiating. He ran to the tail, sign, pay cut,
right?
Pay cut. They say pay cut, sign them. That's not the problem.
Yeah, man.
And here's what's going to happen. We saw what just happened with the Rangers. Opening day, we're going to be in AT&T Stadium packed, happy to be back, waving flags, all sorts of stuff. And we just accept whatever results we get, man. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell, man. Because, especially like I said, living here in Kansas City and seeing them, like they're foaming at the mouth to get back to the Super Bowl. Like they're pissed they lost the Super Bowl last year, and they are ready, eager to get back. Meanwhile, we haven't been there in over 25 years, and we're just chilling. We gonna do things the Patriots way, you know?
Brand, baby.
Like, yeah, and it's just like, bro, like there was so many players from Peterson to like it was all over the place. Anthony Harris, you know, taking these cheap 1-year deals, and we sat back and twiddle our thumbs, man. So
draft, baby.
We don't have to kill this draft. And like I said, the only one way we are going to get past it is just to be so damn good offensively. The NFL can't do nothing about it, man. So,
and that's why we're on the train.
Yeah,
bring Pitts in here and make it do what it do because this defense we don't know. Man, go score me 40, 50 burgers. Right. I got Dak back. I got Pitts on the end line. Good luck. It's going to help everything. Look, I'm gonna give y'all the same reason we signed it, but when we signed excuse me, not signed. When we drafted Zeke over Jalen Ramsey, he helps both sides of the ball. It keeps the defense off the ball. It keeps the defense on the side because we're going to be running the ball to Zeke. Well, Dak's going to get Pitts over here because we're going to score more points. And then once we get and make them one-dimensional, that'll stop our run defense from sucking because they can't run the ball. We can make them one-dimensional and
That's how we fix the run game. That's how we fix the run game. Because think about this, and I said this on Twitter, right? On our defense, DeMarcus Lawrence is the only player you really have to scheme around.
Yeah, pretty much.
DeMarcus Lawrence, that's it. When offensive opponents come, they're like, all right, we might got to double team DeMarcus Lawrence, chip off over him, scheme around DeMarcus Lawrence. That's it. One damn player on our defense.
Yeah. Embarrassing part is that D-Law, like Tuck said, D-Law is the only guy you got to scheme on defense. But now, hold on, let's see if LVE is available. He may not be available that way. We don't know. He's not always playing. Jalen Smith, he's on the field too long. We got him. Right. When you hear those issues, they're not being addressed. It's personal likes, personal life. If I'm running a team, if you don't fit what I like, you're out. You're done.
Right.
Why are we here coddling? Why are we here massaging shoulders?
Right.
I don't get it. Another thing, forget the damn single numbers. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if everybody in the team went with number one. Numbers don't mean shit.
Right.
It's the way these teams are playing, the way this team is playing. Right. I'm tired of it. Like somebody said it, BJ, number 6, that trophy. I want to see that trophy. These guys want to get paid and worry about jersey numbers. Right. Here's the thing: if I'm a Dallas Cowboy player right now, I'm not talking about single numbers. I don't care if I wore number 0, because the way we're playing is like 0. At the end of the day, we're about the season coming up. This is what Dak Prescott said it so perfect in his press conference. Culture. He said it. The culture needs to be changed. The minute he signed, what do you saw him do? Work out. Right there at the start.
Right
there at the start. That's what it's all about. It's not about marketing and X, Y, and Z. The hot boy shit. Leave that alone.
Because here's what the problem is, Spoon, and I said this on Twitter as well. If you're Jalen Smith, what are you going to do about it? Who are you going to bench me for Francis Bernard? You're going to bench me for Gifford? You can't do anything because you don't have a competitive culture inside of Dallas right now. Now, if we would have did the right thing and brought in KJ Wright, now that linebacker room gets a little bit smaller and the error of mistakes kind of, you're walking on eggshells. But right now, Jalen Smith could swipe, he can do backflips, cartwheels, whatever, because you don't have no other options. You're going to bench me for LVE? Okay, good luck. He won't be here week 3. So I'm pretty much at this point all you got. So swipe, gang, swipe, buy my glasses, and NFL Man of the Year vote for me. That you have no choice, and that's the culture that we created. These guys aren't fearful for their job. None of them are.
And that's the problem. That listen, a long time ago. Don't get me wrong. We love Tony Romo, but Romo never had to have competition. But Romo was saying you need that. Dak Prescott, you know what he did? I'm waiting.
Right.
I'm waiting. When my time comes, I'm going to show. He's the only player that had to wait for his time, and when it came, he stepped. It was about a 4th round pick stepping up. Right. The story, the fairy tale story with Jalen Smith getting injured. Listen, I love it. It was beautiful. We all rooted for you, but it's past its time. You got paid for it. Now we need to see somebody take over. That number 54 represent the 54. Forget the number 9.
Right.
The number 9 is college. You passed that shit.
Right.
Worry about that 54, the master 54. That's what it's about. LVE, you wear. I don't look. LVE. Listen, no lie. You could be a star. You're compared to greats like Brian Urlacher, but you got to play. You got to be here. You got to be here. That's my problem. There's
and that's like and as we were sitting here talking, and obviously we came on today because of the news broke via Mike Fisher on Twitter that KJ Wright and the Cowboys aren't going to get a deal done. A lot of the comments up and down since we've been on were, if you got KJ Wright, where's he going to play? Where's he going to play? And we shouldn't have to worry about that. You just put people in that. You let them
best players play. The best players play.
It's like you already added Neil to that room. Okay, add a KJ Wright. Nothing's promised. It's a meritocracy. And put them in there, and you get as many people in there, you let them compete. And look, and if KJ Wright gets beat up, then so be it. But if KJ Wright beats somebody else, these guys aren't here for long. So, even our fan base to a certain extent, it's like, well, we would have signed KJ. What would you have done? Well, if that's the case, why draft if you didn't want KJ Wright, why draft the linebacker at all?
Right.
Where's he going to play?
Right, where's 13 going to play? We already have corner. Like you have to create competitive culture. If anyone's played sports since he was young, the best players win. Like you have to have competitive nature out there, and we just never have that in Dallas. Like we always want to preach every offseason, earn the star. It's not earning the star, bro. I got my contract. That's me earning my star. That's what it really is. Because think about this. In 98% of NFL teams across the board, when Zeke was having his fumbling issues and Tony Pollard came out and played great his first start, Zeke would have been an afterthought. But nah, man. But you guys see how quick Zeke hurt his ass back there on that field, injury and all, because he saw what Pollard could do. Like you have to have that creative culture to keep you pushing, keep you thriving, or you get comfortable. And I feel like a lot of these Cowboys players, they get comfortable. Jalen Smith can sit back and say, 2018, I played decent, led the NFL in tackles, top NFL in tackles. 2019 is a Pro Bowler. 2020, he can blame it on Mike Nolan, the scheme, and everything kind of fell apart. So in his mind, he's good. Right. And that's why you get the sound bites. Watch the film. You get this, kind of this egotistic, comments from Jalen Smith, because in his mind, he thinks he's producing at a high rate amongst his NFL peers, which is clearly not. But that's the problem. But no one in that front office is going to say, nah, you actually not. And we're going to bring in KJ Wright. So if you don't get you together, there's a possibility we can move you on. So because we can kind of see it with Jalen, right? And Nixie kind of spoke about this as well with the new nickel front with Keanu Neal being there, kind of being the third down guy. All right, well, is it going to be Jalen or is it going to be LVE? So Jalen might be sitting there on third down, pom-pomming, cheering, swiping, and it might get to him like, bro, you're not as good as in coverage as you think you are. And so that's the signal. That's the signals that you have to send from a coaching staff. And I feel like Mike McCarthy, the way that he's kind of structured, he would love to do that, but we all know up top, they ain't gonna allow that.
Another thing is,
I would like to see Jalen on the field a little bit more,
But I agree. Listen, Jalen, tackling, getting after the quarterback, that's his game. Covering is not his game. Listen, Larry Allen, one of my favorite all-time players of all time. I love Larry, number 73. I remember Bill Parcells was coaching a game. Larry Allen took himself out the game, right? Now, what was the thing that everybody hate Jerry Jones doing? Come to the sideline, right?
Right.
Showed it right there. I mean, on Fox Sports. Jerry walked the sideline. Larry Allen looked, took his helmet. I'm coming back in. See, that was fear.
Right.
That was fear. Why people was complaining about Jerry Jones always be on the sideline, they feared him. I'm paying you. You on the sidelines? What's the problem? I don't see. I hate no injury report. Why you on the sideline? What happened?
Right.
See, now it's comfortable.
Right.
These guys are out of it's so much comfortability. It's crazy. And my whole thing is that if Dan Quinn is a proven winner, even though Dan Quinn didn't draft KJ Wright, it was Bradley who was there. At the end of the day, that was his system.
Right.
Yeah. Once he got there, he turned KJ Wright around. He turned that whole defense around. So when you bring in a guy like, first of all, Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn, what they have in common? Championship. You got to be able to let them do what they do. You cannot go in there and no, I like him. No. Let them. You pay them to do it their way. Let's see
Right.
it. See the results. I trust McCarthy. I trust McCarthy with his offer to Dak. I really do coming up. But now with Dan Quinn, if you don't let him get just because you got Kazi and Neal, don't stop there. KJ right there, and he's telling you, KJ Wright can play any linebacker spot. If one goes down, we won't miss a beat. Why are you not signing the guy?
Right.
You love versatility, right?
Yeah.
There it goes right there. Oh, it's too expensive, right?
Lack of urgency.
It's beyond crazy. But meanwhile,
draft the guy.
You'll go rush for us to buy tickets.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, there you will.
Oh yeah. Get them now. Get them now. They sell out. Get them now. Buy now. Yeah. Oh, bro. I have calling me, email, all that. Like, okay, you can't pick up the phone and call KJ Wright. Okay, that's what's up. Man.
See what's going on here, man.
Yeah.
I guess they're right there, man. We'll get up out of here. If not, we'll be here for another 2 damn hours on our soapbox. So we'll leave up out of here on this. You got a special tonight, I believe. Jason, right?
Yeah, so my guy Skywalker, something Skywalker, man, he put something great together. I think it's coming on at 7 here, about 30 minutes or so. So check out the Cowboys Network, man. He created a whole new platform for content creators, man. So it was me, myself, Cowboys Fan Talk Rome, Space Cowboy, and also DMV, man. So we're kind of the first guest on the show, man. So it's going to have a lot of great, content creators, man, because trying to put everybody in one place because we all share, great content, great ideas, but it kind of gets a little competitive aspect. So when you see it, you're going to see how your boy Jay Tuck got screwed over a little bit, but it was definitely fun, man. We had a blast, man. So definitely check that out. I think it's going to drop that here in the next 30 minutes. But also, man, Cowboys fans only, of course, on YouTube. Listen, y'all, 50 subscribers from 1,000, man. I need 50 people to go ahead and subscribe to that channel, man. So we're almost there. We're trying to get to 1,000 for the draft. We're gonna do a lot of giveaways on our show, man. So, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking with me. Of course, on Twitter at JTuck151. And it's almost draft time, so here we are.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're in the final stretch, man. We stretch our legs a little bit.
Countdown. And I will say this before I go, right? The conversation about competitive nature, changing the culture, especially defensively. That's why I'm a pro JC Horn guy, because I feel like if we draft Surtain, he's coming in to be Diggs's little brother, his friend, or whatnot. I feel like JC Horn comes into Dallas wanting to be that guy. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to eat. If you're going to come along and eat with me, then feel free. But I'm going to be that number one dog here in corner. Diggs, I appreciate what you did last year, but I'm now the guy here. That's the type of attitude I want. I don't want the kind of buddy system and, I'm glad my brother's playing and all. No. I want some dogs in the secondary, man. Yeah. Dogs in secondary. So let's get it.
No doubt. Yeah. Man, of course, you already tuned into the Star Game Podcast live crew. If you're on YouTube,